Hey everybody, welcome back to PAC Talk with me, your host, Pete Vodden. First of all, we are going through it right now in LA. The fires have obviously been devastating. A lot of our members have been affected. A lot of our friends have been affected. So just to send out love and our thoughts are with you. We're doing everything we can at the club, and I know so many people in the area and honestly everywhere are galvanizing and helping out and doing whatever they can. So you know, we'll get through it. Whatever we can do to help, we will. And you're just sending all the love in the world to everyone who's been affected, and especially everybody at the club, all the members of the club that are directly affected by this. We see you all the time, and we know how devastating this is. And we're here for you, and anything you need from us, and anything we can do for you, please let us know, and we'll do everything we can to help. So I just wanted to start with that because this is an important time in Los Angeles, and it's tough on a lot of people. And honestly, there's a lot of disaster fatigue, I think, going on right now. We've been through it in the last 5 years with the pandemic and the riots and the strikes and now the fires, and it's just endless. So it takes a lot of strength, takes a lot of resilience, takes a lot of community, takes a lot of help. But like I said, together we'll all come together, we'll all get through it, and we'll move on from this, and we'll find a way to get through it. Um, Moving on from there. Obviously, it's the start of the new year, and at the start of the new year, I always start to think about things and how I want to move forward with the year, and programming wise, and what the club needs, and what the clubs need now, and what's going to be best for everybody. So there are going to be some changes to build in this next couple of cycles, some exciting changes that I want to go through with you guys. Um, and broadly speaking, I think it's going to be a very nice change, a very nice mix up. I think it's going to be really beneficial for a lot of people. I think it's going to be better for a lot of people, actually. There's a lot of thought that's gone into it, a lot of ideas that have gone into it. And again, as with everything that I do, it's kind of just like the coming together of a lot of ideas over the years and a lot of experiences over the years, a lot of different programming, a lot of different cycles, a lot of different influences from all these different spaces that I get influences from. And yeah, it's new. Obviously, you don't reinvent exercises, you don't reinvent cycles necessarily. Everything is kind of like a rehash or a reinvention, or again, you're borrowing ideas from different places and just kind of putting them together. So I never like to say that I invent anything. I'm not the creator of anything, really. I'm just, like I said, borrowing and putting together stuff that I've experienced, and stuff that I believe is good and believe works, and again is the right thing for most people. Um, so let me start by reminding you guys of what Build is and why it kind of exists and why it's one of our primary programs at the club. It started out as really our version on the kind of functional hypertrophy program. What it does is it borrows from the worlds of bodybuilding, it borrows from the worlds of strength training, and it borrows from the worlds of CrossFit type training, and kind of brings them all together in kind of a hybrid way. It's kind of one of the original kind of hybrid programs. And by hybrid, I mean you're complicit across a lot of paradigms in the fitness world. Um, you know, we like to build strength, we like to build lean muscle tissue, but we also want people to be conditioned. We like people to have good heart health, obviously, and we like people to be able to move and feel like they have the ability to move. We like to create able bodies. We like to focus on injury prevention and mobility, and good mechanics. All of these things come into the build program to try and build this kind of well-rounded physique, well-rounded mindset, well-rounded sense of ability. And again, as the fitness industry moves, I think in a good way, towards this kind of like watchword of longevity, like what do we need to do to live long, healthy, happy lives? I think build fits really well into that kind of sense of things. It obviously favors strength and hypertrophy slash building lean muscle type training. I always say, in terms of ratios, if you want to think about ratios, build is kind of like an 80% strength, 20% conditioning type program. We spend 80% of our time in kind of mechanic strength and hypertrophy, and probably 20% of our time in the conditioning realm. Now, that may vary on day to day. Like, for example, Wednesdays and Saturdays tend to be heavier on condition. So those percentages change a little bit, as opposed to a kind of a CrossFit program, which might be more of a 50-50 split between strength and conditioning, or something like HYROX, which is probably more of an 80-20% split in favor of conditioning, or something like Train, one of our other programs, that's going to be more on the conditioning side. Build favors strength and hypertrophy. It has enough conditioning, again, health, longevity, healthy hearts, healthy respiratory system, good immune system, all that kind of stuff. But it wouldn't be the program if you were training for something more in the endurance world, like a HYROX or like a marathon or all that kind of stuff. You're going to need to do some more cardiovascular work for that kind of thing. But broadly speaking, it's a well-rounded program that kind of digs into each of these things in a very systemized and thought-out way. So the days, historically, we have biases on certain days. So for a long time, we've kind of been operating under this Monday lower body, Tuesday upper body, Wednesday all body, Thursday lower body, Friday upper body, Saturday all body, Sunday arms, abs kind of routine, which has always worked really well. But I do want to make a little bit of a shift. And the shift is going to be so that every day is going to feel more of a dual purpose day. They're going to feel more like all body workouts, even though they're not all body. They are very movement specific, and I'm going to talk about the split in a second. But they will feel more like all body workouts. You're going to be doing multiple movement patterns on any given day. And although there may be less volume on any specific muscle group on any given day, there'll be more frequency. You'll be doing that muscle group more frequently. Therefore, at the end of the week, the volume will be the same or even more than it was before. So you're not going to get less with this program. You're going to get more. And the idea behind it is to create more balance, to create more synergy through the body, to create a slightly bigger metabolic demand, because you're obviously doing multiple movement patterns. And it's also going to hopefully create more adherence to programming and people not skipping days. We've always run into the issue of like certain people will traditionally skip certain days because they maybe don't think they need to work chest, or maybe don't think they need to work shoulders, or whatever it is. By doing kind of like these combinations that I'm going to go through, I think uptake and adherence will be better. I think people will be probably less sore as the result of the work they do on that day because of the reduction in daily volume. So we've also, it depends where you're at in your training life, but we do deal with a good amount of muscle soreness with the build program, which of course is expected. We're not going to say you're not going to ever get sore. You are, but of course, I don't want to be in the position where you're so sore from Monday you can't train again until Thursday. That also doesn't make any sense, and that isn't a good program for most people. So again, as I go into these things, my mindset is what's best for most people. How can I create healthy bodies that have a good metabolism, that have a good body composition? Obviously, we want to keep that body fat down. We want to keep that muscle mass up. How do I keep people mobile? How do I keep people active? How do I motivate people? And how do I keep people consistent and not dropping off? And like I said, not skipping days and that kind of thing. So that's really the mindset going into this program. A very well-rounded, very frequent, very fun and engaging program that's gonna, it's gonna make us think as well as make us do. We're gonna use our bodies and our brains. And again, I like people to think about, we're thinking about muscles, obviously, but we're also thinking about movement patterns and what movement patterns we're working through. If you think about the evolution of kind of programming and the evolution of the fitness industry, we kind of started out in the 70s, 80s, and 90s with more of a kind of like bodybuilding mindset in that time of like certain days focused on certain muscle groups. So for example, Monday might be chest and triceps, Tuesday might be back and biceps, Wednesday might be legs, Thursday might be rest, Friday might be shoulders, something like that, just very specific to muscle groups. And then, of course, with the advent of CrossFit, at the early 2000s and through to now, that tended to focus more on kind of all body and movement patterns and multi-joint movements and compound lifts and Olympic lifts and all that kind of stuff. So everything kind of shifted in that realm, in that direction, kind of away from the daily muscle group kind of thinking. And then we started to see kind of like a coming together of those things. So I saw CrossFitters bringing in more bodybuilding techniques into their training, especially to supplement their training. I saw some bodybuilders bringing in some functional training days to complement their bodybuilding, which was also I think a positive thing. So the world started to blend a little bit, and now we're really in this kind of like hybrid space. Now, of course, you still get people who do pure bodybuilding, and that's awesome. We still get people who do pure CrossFit, and that's awesome. But in this program specifically, we kind of want to blend those worlds in a way that makes sense to most people. A lot of people obviously don't need to be doing highly technical movements, and a lot of people aren't gonna get on stage and do a bodybuilding competition. We're not that specific in the training. We're not shooting for that kind of athletic goal, but we are shooting for, like I said, healthy, well-balanced bodies with a good metabolism, a good body composition, and we feel like we can move, we feel functional, we feel like we could run for a bus if we need to, or catch our kids if we need to, whatever it is. So the build split as we move forward. We're going to have a deload week next week, and then after next week, it's going to be the new cycle. We're going to run this for a couple of cycles. Initially, this was written for the Limitless Challenge, which of course we have pushed back because of the fires, because of the tone of everything. We just feel like right now people thinking about body fat and being your best self and all that kind of stuff, all that kind of language. It's just kind of a bad tone right now. Like, it's the last thing people are worried about. People are worried about their homes. People are worried about their families. Dealing with insurance companies, all that stuff. It's just too much right now. So I wrote the initial program for that, and then we are going to start this program. We're going to run it for a little bit, and then going into the Limitless Challenge will be kind of a ramped up version of it. But going through it with you guys now, Monday we'll still work our squats on a Monday, so we'll still have a lower body bias on that day, and that's going to be the kind of the major movement. And then for our secondary movements, for our kind of minors, if we think of it in terms of majors and minors, my major muscle group, my major movement patterns and my minor movement patterns are also going to work horizontal pulling. So Monday will be squatting and horizontal pulling, and that will be kind of the combination. Now, for our primary movement, so let's say squatting is our primary movement on a Monday, we're still going to, of course, be working through some protocols, through some very specific programming drills. We are going to work both strength and hypertrophy. We'll have some higher rep range stuff and some lower rep range stuff. We want to work strength. We want to get stronger, but again, we also want to build that lean muscle tissue. So we like to mix it up in this program. And then the accessory pieces in the horizontal pulling range, they're going to be more in the kind of classic kind of lean muscle tissue building range, kind of like 6 to 12 reps, medium weight, that kind of stuff. So we can think of the primary movement as a real kind of like, that's the real thing we need to get our head around on the day. And then the pulling stuff's going to be our accessory piece on that day. Okay, so Monday, squatting, horizontal pulling. Tuesday, the major will still be a push. It will still be a horizontal push. So bench pressing, any kind of pressing in that horizontal plane. And then we are going to accessorize with hamstring and glute work on a Tuesday. So we can think of it as chest, hamstrings, and glutes in a fashion. Again, there'll be more muscles that come into it, but that's a good way to kind of summarize it. Again, the major lift being some kind of bench variation, building up that ability to push things either away from us or off us or however it is. And then accessorizing with plenty of good hamstring and glute work, again, in that kind of like 6 to 12 range. Building again that good kind of balance through the body. It'll feel like upper body and lower body all at the same time. And obviously, I'm going to make sure that the Monday squatting doesn't interfere much with the Tuesday hamstring and glutes. Obviously, there will be some crossover, but it won't feel like too much. I'm going to be very careful with that. Wednesday, we're going to go into our more conditioning type day. We're going to work some gymnastic stuff. By gymnastic stuff, I really just mean bodyweight stuff, calisthenics. Our classic kind of body weight movements that we're going to run through, and we're going to have a longer conditioning piece on a Wednesday. We've been doing that for a while. Again, with the build program, like I said, it is really an 80-20 split between strength, hypertrophy, and conditioning, but there are certain days where I like to up the conditioning. I think it's very good for us to do that. It's good to build our mitochondria. It's good to build that aerobic base. It transfers well to the other stuff. Increases our ability to recover, increases the ability to recover between sets, increases our kind of sense of overall functional fitness and just feeling generally good. And it's easy to get in the habit. I think one of the limits of a bodybuilding type routine, you can suffer from a lack of conditioning if you're not careful. You can get in the habit of just lifting all the time and never really paying attention to conditioning anymore. And it can kind of get boring if you're not careful. So I think Wednesdays, having a longer conditioning piece just allows you to like break away a little bit, do something a little bit different, and give yourself that opportunity to build some good heart health. Thursday, again, we're going to be working deadlifts, which we've kind of always done on Thursdays, and I don't want to get away from that because I do really believe it's one of the best movement patterns for us. That hinge pattern, working that posterior chain. So we're thinking back, we're thinking glutes again, we're thinking hamstrings, we're thinking all body strength in that kind of deadlift fashion. One of the best all body strength movements we can do. But we are going to accessorize with rotation and anti-rotation. So we're going to really think about our obliques and our core. It's very easy to get caught up in very kind of linear planes and not think about rotation, which in all sports and in life in general is an essential part of movement. Rotation is essential to what the human body can do. So I do want to pay a lot of attention to that in this program. And like I said, it's going to be a really good way to accessorize on our deadlift day. So think deadlifts, core, rotation, anti-rotation, obliques, abs as well. It all comes into it. That the core is everything. It's the front, the back, the side. So we're going to work that core through and through. Friday is going to move to this is kind of a big day. This one will feel like more of an all body day because it is push pull, and the minor is lunge and single leg work. So we're gonna be focusing on push pull to start. So again, you'll do both kind of like chest and back stuff on a Friday, but you'll also do some single leg work, and you'll also focus on lunging. So again, you're going to get some extra kind of like glute and leg benefit on that day. Again, everything is in the context of everything else. So I'm going to be very careful to not let things overlap too much and not overtrain any muscle group. But of course, like I said, the volume may be less on any given day, but the frequency is more. You can hear by what I'm saying to you is that, you're hearing me talk about the same muscle groups, on, Mondays and Thursdays and a little bit on Friday. So there's more frequency as we go through, but again, less volume. So it doesn't leave you as sore on any day, but the overall volume is the same / even more, which gives you, potentially even better results. So again, I think it's going to work out really well for most people. Saturday is still kind of like game day, kind of like all body strength and conditioning, teamwork, partner work, fun stuff. I think this is a really important thing to have in the program. We need fun. We need games. We need to play. And I think Saturdays is a good opportunity to do that. And I like this kind of like game day mentality, as if you were playing a sport on that day and as you were going in with that mindset. Again, we do have people that don't like team stuff. They don't like partner stuff. So there is always going to be the option to do this solo. So it's not like, no, you have to be in a team and no, you have to be in a partner. If you want to do it solo, you absolutely 100% can. And there will be a solo version for you. There is something for everybody. Our job as programmers, as coaches, is to give you the right workout for you. It's not to like make you do something you don't want to do. Of course, we want you to get out of your comfort zone because that's where we know results happen. But at the same time, we want you to come in. We don't just avoid it because you don't like it. So there are going to be options for you guys there. Now, Sunday, of course, we stick with our kind of arms race and abs. It's still our most kind of like well-attended day. And I feel like Sunday's just a good day to do that. Biceps, triceps, abdominal work. Again, it's kind of like well-balanced anyway. And it's kind of more of a chill day after everything else we've been through in the week. You guys know how arms race started. It started with a friend of mine, Justin, me and him just chatting like we've been training hard all week. It's like, you know what? Tomorrow I just want to go in and work arms. I just want to go and work my biceps and triceps. I just want to feel good. I just want to get a little pump on and, work my arms. And there's nothing wrong with that. So that Sunday will say the same on that. Again, we do have, obviously, this is just in the build context. We do have plenty of other programs on Sundays that are going to be happening. So if you want more of a conditioning feel, that will also be available to you. This is only in the context of build. And, again, throughout the whole week, throughout all the clubs, there are multiple options here. This is just specific to build. So again, if you want more conditioning stuff, we've got this great new stuff, this great new race program that's just started. We've been rolling it out at the Redondo location. It's been super popular. That's more of a kind of HYROX type of program. So again, you can either add that, you can do that as well as the build stuff if you're a savage, or you can start to switch things up and think, no, today I want to make more of a conditioning bias, so I'm going to go to that race class or that train class, or today I'm going to do build, whatever it is. There's going to be the right program for you. And of course, we have coaches available to advise you on that stuff, like how much of this stuff I should be doing, how much of this stuff should be doing, and move forward sensibly and in a very kind of planned out manner. But the build program specifically, let's kind of like summarize it. So we're moving to more of an all body day type thinking. Each day has kind of a dual purpose, kind of a majors and minors purpose. So Monday will be that squat pull. Tuesday will be that push hamstrings and glutes. Wednesday will be that gymnastics / longer conditioning piece day. Thursday, we're talking about deadlifts, rotation and anti-rotation. Friday, we're talking push pull and then lunging and single leg work. And then Saturday, game day, all body conditioning, super fun. Super energetic, high octane, kind of just like, let's just have some fun, kind of like, let's play some sports. And then Sunday, we've got arms and abs, kind of like what we've been doing, all the time. So again, I think this is going to be a great program for a lot of people. Hopefully it will mean, people don't skip days. It's like I said, you get something in multiple muscle groups on any given day. So it's not like you need to avoid chest day or avoid shoulder day. It's all kind of like put together, something for everybody. Less volume on any given day, less soreness, but more frequency. So you still get the same amount of volume on a weekly basis. It's gonna really help with synergy. It's gonna really help with kind of an all body health perspective. It's going to help with metabolism, because there's going to be like a lot of work to be done. We're not just focusing on one movement pattern, we're focusing on multi-movement patterns. But it's very well thought out. It's not just it's not completely random. It's not a randomized training program. It's very structured. I think when we talk about all body stuff, you can get into the problem of just people throwing shit at the wall and just being like, oh, it's all body, it's everything, it's this, that's the other. And then it just loses structure, loses purpose. And we were all about purpose at Pharos Athletic Club. We have this big thing about programming with purpose. And I want to make sure that we are true to that. And we are building strong functional bodies and writing things and doing things that make sense from a training perspective. Everything has that progressive overload. Everything complements everything else that we do. Every day is programmed with the next day as a thought. And we don't want to overuse muscles. We don't want to underuse muscles. We don't want to avoid certain movement patterns. We want to make sure we're covering our bases and creating these kind of like functional, strong, lean, well-conditioned, anabolically sound bodies. So that's how we're programming it. That's my goal. Obviously, when we get to the Limitless Challenge, this will be synced up with our nutritional programming, which of course is important for any program, as well as our other coaching protocols, our diaries, our daily tasks, everything that helps us really achieve that optimal condition. But for right now, I wanted us to just kind of start this program, to start moving with it, to having fun with it. Again, you don't have to be at the club to follow this programming. You can follow it anywhere in the world via our app. We use Train HYROX, which is accessible from anywhere in the world. And it's a great program to jump on. Like I said, I think this is a really good program for a lot of people. Most people in that kind of general population space. Everything is scalable. Obviously, you can use different loads, different movements. And like I said, for most people, this is going to be a great program. It's going to cover all your bases. It's going to be great for muscle building. It's going to be great for fat loss. It's going to be great for function. It's going to cover a lot of bases. And hopefully you guys are going to love it. I know you will. Let me know your comments on this. Let me know your thoughts. And as we're going through, just give me feedback. I love feedback. It's always super helpful. I'm not the kind of person that ever gets like upset or offended by like, I like this, I didn't like that. Like, that's not what I am. I don't, I've been in the game long enough that I don't get offended in that way. I just like taking information and move with it as I see I need to, or as I see fit. So always feel free to give me feedback. We will be running this, of course, at all our clubs. We have the 4 clubs now. So we're going to be in Echo Park. We're going to be in Palm Springs. We're going to be in Idlewild. We're going to be in Redondo. This will exist in all those clubs and beyond. Of course, like I said, you can follow at home anywhere in the world. And if you're close to any of those clubs, come check it out. We are going to be doing some free weeks coming up, so you can come in and try out the clubs. And we're always doing some kind of offer or some kind of thing. So always reach out, find out what the offer is going on, or come in and just take a look at the club. Come in for a tour. We'd love to see you. We'd love to meet you. We'd love to show you how we can help you. Sit down, have a chat, whatever it is. We're good, friendly people. We just want to help. So hopefully we'll see you soon. Again, if you're in the LA area, please take care. We are here for you, and I know it's a really rough time, really tough time, but the best way to get through it is together. So yeah, come see us, come hang out, reach out, whatever you guys need, we're here for you. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon in the gym. My current schedule is basically I'm usually in Idlewild, Palm Springs on a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'm kind of in the LA Redondo area. And then Friday mornings, I could be in Redondo, Palm Springs, or I could be back in Idlewild. LA Redondo, I could be back in Idlewild. So my schedule varies a little bit, but I do love coming to the clubs. I love seeing everybody. I had a great week this week, just checking in with everybody, both staff and members. It was great to see everybody, despite everything that's going on. It's just always great to see like friendly faces and give out some hugs and just check in with everybody and just have some fun. I had some great workouts too. It's like the privilege I have is to go to all these clubs and hang out with people and get to train with different coaches and see how they're doing and learn from them and kind of all kind of grow together. So I'm super lucky in that way. So okay, guys, that's it for today. Again, let me know your thoughts and give us a like on the podcast. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. It really helps us out. And again, always reach out. We're always here for you guys. So hopefully I'll see you soon in the gym, and take care till then. Bye.